Hello, good evening. I am Dr. Baneswar Boro. Today I am going to make a video of rotation of gut, folding of gut. Okay. So today we will go through these three books. One is the Cunningham's Manual of Practical Anatomy. So here we will discuss these diagrams: rotation of gut, folding of gut. Then this is Human Embryology, Ed Edison, Ivy Singh and G.P. Paul. So here we will discuss these diagrams, lateral folding. Then this is the Langman's Medical Embryology, 12th edition. So already we have discussed in our previous videos about the lateral folding and craniocaudal folding. So this is the model of craniocaudal folding and lateral folding. So here this is the enclosed or pinched walk sac, secondary walk sac. So this part is the foregut, this part is the foregut up to this buccopharyngeal or oropharyngeal membrane. Then this is the hindgut, this is hindgut, and this caudalmost part is the cloaca, and this is the midgut part. This is midgut part. So this is the cross section of the blastocyst at the end of the lateral end, craniocaudal folding cross section, and this is the sagittal section. This is craniocaudal folding. This is the pinched secondary walk sac. This part is the midgut. This is the foregut up to this buccopharyngeal membrane, and this is the hindgut, and last part is the cloaca. So this is about the sagittal section of the gut system: foregut, midgut, hindgut, and cloaca. Stop. So already we know this is the blastocyst, this is the amniotic cavity, superiorly amniotic cavity, and the secondary walk sac. In between these two cavities, this is the trilaminar jamdix. This is ectoderm, and this is the endoderm. In between this ectoderm and endoderm, this is the neural tube. Then this is the notochord, paraxial mesoderm, intermediate mesoderm, and this is the lateral plate mesoderm. This is lateral plate mesoderm. So within the lateral plate mesoderm, this is the cavity intraembryonic xylem. This is the intraembryonic xylem. This intraembryonic xylem is bounded superiorly by the somatopleuric intraembryonic mesoderm, and inferiorly this is the splanchopleuric intraembryonic mesoderm. So this is the trilaminar jamdix. So we will cut this trilaminar jamdix in the one cranial, one cranial and caudal. So please focus it. So this is the diagram. This is the cranial section of this trilaminar jamdix, and this is the caudal section of the trilaminar jamdix. Then at the end of the lateral folding here, so this is the gut, this endoderm will meet with the opposite half of the endoderm, forming the foregut. Then as the lateral and medial boundary is the medial and lateral boundary of the intraembryonic xylem, this is the continuation of the somatopleuric and splanchopleuric intraembryonic mesoderm. So at the end of the lateral folding cranially, this is the continuation of the somatopleuric and splanchopleuric intraembryonic mesoderm. So they are going to form the dorsal mesogastrium and ventral mesogastrium in the cranial half of the trilaminar jamdix at the end of the lateral folding. So here in this diagram, this is the caudal section of the trilaminar jamdix, where the intraembryonic xylem is opening laterally. So at the end of the lateral folding, the endoderm will meet with the endoderm. Then this splanchic will meet with this splanchic, forming the visceral peritoneum, and the somatopleuric intraembryonic mesoderm will meet with the opposite somatopleuric, forming the parietal peritoneum, and this blue ectoderm will meet with the opposite half, forming the body wall. So this is the cross section of the trilaminar jamdix at the end of the lateral folding. So this is the lateral view of this gut system. This is the foregut, mid-cut, hind-cut, lateral view, and this is the ventral body wall, dorsal body wall, then this is the dorsal aorta, and this is the celiac artery, superior mesenteric artery, and this is the inferior mesenteric artery. The celiac artery is supplying the foregut, superior mesenteric artery is supplying the midgut, inferior mesenteric artery is supplying the hindgut. So this is the lateral view. This is a lateral view. So this is the model. This is the model. This is the model. This is the dorsal aorta. Dorsal aorta. There with the body wall. Body wall. This is the foregut. Foregut. The midgut. And this is the hindgut. So within this is the ventral mesogastrium and this is the dorsal mesogastrium. So this part is the dorsal mesogastrium and this part is the ventral mesogastrium. So here you see ventral mesogastrium is only available in front of the foregut. This is the ventral mesogastrium and this is the dorsal mesogastrium. This is the foregut, or this is the ventral mesogastrium and this is the dorsal mesogastrium. Lateral view of the left surface. So this one is the model. This one is the model which is available in the Cunningham book. This is the foregut. This is the dorsal aorta. This is the celiac artery. This is the midgut loop, and this is the hindgut. The superior celiac artery supplying the foregut. Superior mesenteric artery supplying the midgut. And this is the inferior mesenteric artery supplying the hindgut. So this entire part is the dorsal mesogastrium and this is the foregut. In front of the foregut there is a ventral mesogastrium. So this is the ventral mesogastrium. So this is the cross section of this gut system at the level of this foregut. So in front of this foregut is the ventral mesogastrium. So in between the two leaves of the ventral mesogastrium there will be the development of liver, and there will be the spleen. In the dorsal mesogastrium this is the spleen. So if we cut in this section, in this level, at the level of this foregut, so this is the diagram. This is the stomach developing from the foregut. So in front of the stomach this is the ventral mesogastrium. So this is the right lip of the ventral mesogastrium, and this is the left lip of the ventral mesogastrium. And posteriorly, so this is the right lip of the dorsal mesogastrium and this is the left lip of the dorsal mesogastrium. So within the ventral mesogastrium, this is the liver, the endodermal cell proliferation of the foregut towards the ventral mesogastrium. So in this ventral mesogastrium, this is the developing liver. And posteriorly, in the left lip of the dorsal mesogastrium, this is the development of spleen, which is the mesodermal cell deposition. So now you see the liver is going towards the right side. The right lobe of the liver is going towards the right side, and this spleen in the left lip of the dorsal mesogastrium is going towards the right side. So this is the reason why the stomach rotates. The stomach rotates in a vertical axis 90 degree in a clockwise direction. As per the Langman, please focus it. As per this Langman, so this is the stomach. So in front of the stomach, this is the ventral mesogastrium. This is the liver. The liver is going towards the right side. The right lobe of the liver is growing towards the right side. Then this is the spleen. The spleen is developing in the left lip of the dorsal mesogastrium towards the left side. So due to this growth, this growth, liver is towards the right side and the spleen towards the left side, will rotate the stomach 90 degree in a vertical axis. Okay, so this is the rotation, 90 degree rotation of the stomach. Okay, so the original anterior surface will go towards the right side and the original initial posterior surface will come towards the left side. Okay, so this is this developing spleen in the dorsal mesogastrium. Now this developing spleen within the dorsal mesogastrium will make two ligaments. This is called gastrosplenic ligament or gastrolinal ligament attaching the stomach with a spleen. Actually, this is the part of the dorsal mesogastrium. Then lenorenal ligament. So this lenorenal ligament means, leno means spleen and renal means kidney. So this kidney and this spleen connecting part is called lenorenal ligament. So originally this is nothing but the part of the dorsal mesogastrium. So this is the liver. So this liver, which is growing within the ventral mesogastrium, will make two ligaments, two structure. I mean the ventral mesogastrium will be divided into two parts. Anteriorly, this part will become the falciform ligament anteriorly, and posteriorly the liver and stomach connecting part is called lesser omentum. This is the lesser omentum. Stop. So this is the foreguard. From this foreguard there will be development of the stomach. So this is straight. Here it is straight. Ventrally ventral mesogastrium, dorsally dorsal mesogastrium. Within the ventral mesogastrium there will be the development of liver, and posteriorly or dorsally the spleen within the left lip of the dorsal mesogastrium. Okay. So this is the diagram. This first diagram. Then the second. This is the second diagram. This is the second diagram. This one is the second diagram. So in this second diagram, you see this stomach has rotated 90 degree. Stomach has rotated 90 degree. So this original ventral mesogastrium containing the development of liver will go towards the right side, and this is the original dorsal mesogastrium containing the development of spleen. Spleen will come towards the left side. Okay. So this is the stomach, which is rotated 90 degree in a vertical axis. This is the vertical axis. In this vertical axis, the stomach has rotated 90 degree. That is clockwise. This is clockwise. It is clockwise rotation 90 degree in a vertical axis. The original anterior surface will go towards the right side, and the original posterior surface will come to the left side, and this is the original left surface of the stomach will come to the anterior side, and the original right surface of the stomach will go to the posterior side. So this is the 90 degree rotation of the foreguard. So in this next model, this is the next model, third diagram. This is the third diagram. In this third diagram, after rotation of the stomach, stomach has rotated 90 degree. So after rotation, the stomach will go for one more rotation, that is in the anterior posterior axis. In the anterior posterior axis, the stomach will rotate again. So after the end of the second rotation, the stomach will form a curvature. So this outer side, this left outer side will form the greater curvature, and this inner right curvature will form the lesser curvature. So this is the lesser omentum. This lesser omentum is nothing but the part of the ventral mesogastrium behind the liver. I mean, this lesser omentum is connecting liver and stomach. And most anteriorly, this is the falciform ligament in front of the liver. Then this is the greater curvature of the stomach. So this greater curvature of the stomach is attached with the original dorsal mesogastrium. So this dorsal mesogastrium is pulled towards the left side at the end of this 90 degree clockwise rotation, and at the end of this curvature formation. So this dorsal mesogastrium will form the greater omentum. Okay, this is the greater omentum. So now see, so at the end of the 90 degree rotation of the stomach and formation of curvature of the stomach, there will be a formation of sac. This is called omental bursa. This is also known as omental bursa. So this omental bursa is nothing but a artificial sac or cavity within the dorsal mesogastrium. So at the end of the rotation of the stomach, there will be an artificial pocket. Why? Because the dorsal mesogastrium is pulled towards the left side. That's why there will be a pocket formation. This pocket is called lesser sac. This is called lesser sec. Now this is the fourth diagram. So in this fourth diagram you see this is the stomach anterior surface. This is the lesser omentum, liver falciform ligament, greater curvature. This is the greater omentum. This is the spleen. This part is called gastrosplenic ligament, and this part is called lenorenal ligament. And this is the lesser sec. This is the lesser sec. So here will be the greater sec. Here will be the greater sec, and greater sec and lesser sec is connected through this epiploic foramen. So this is called epiploic foramen. So this is about this foregut. I mean the rotation of the stomach. Okay. Stop. So this is the midgut. This part is called midgut. This is midgut. This midgut is still connected with the secondary walk sac. Midgut. This is the secondary walk sac, sagittal section. This part is the midgut. Okay, this is the midgut. This is the midgut. This midgut loop is the midgut loop, or here also. See, this is the umbilical opening. This is umbilical opening. Please focus it. This is the umbilical opening. Through this umbilical opening, this is the vitelline duct. This is the connection. This vitelline duct is the connection of this midgut loop with the walk sac, with the secondary walk sac. Okay. So here you see this is the umbilical opening. So through this umbilical opening, this midgut loop is coming out. The midgut loop is coming out through this umbilical opening because the midgut loop is growing in length with respect to the growth of the pelvic or abdominal cavity. Okay. So the growth of this midgut loop is greater than the development of this abdominal cavity. That's why the midgut loop. So this midgut loop is to come out through this umbilical opening. So during this herniation, this is also known as physiological hernia. So during this herniation, there will be a 90-degree rotation. In a anti-clockwise direction. 90-degree rotation when it herniates. So this is the superior mesenteric artery. So in the axis of this superior mesenteric artery, the midgut loop will herniate. The reason of the herniation is due to the growth of this pre-arterial segment. This is the midgut loop. This part is also known as pre-arterial segment. As per this loop, please focus it. Yes. This is the stomach. This is the midgut loop. This is called cephalic limb or pre-arterial segment. This is called post-arterial segment. So this is the superior mesenteric artery. So in the axis of the superior mesenteric artery, so there will be 90-degree rotation of the midgut loop. 90-degree anti-clockwise or counter-clockwise in the axis of this superior mesenteric artery. So you see, so this is the midgut loop, superior mesenteric artery. This will be the axis superior mesenteric artery. So this part is called pre-arterial or cephalic limb. This is called post-arterial. So there will be 90-degree rotation. Okay. So this is the 90-degree rotation of the midgut loop in the anterior posterior axis or superior in the axis of the superior mesenteric artery. So this pre-arterial segment is right side. Now it is in the right side, and this post-arterial segment is in the left side. So this is the 90-degree rotation in the anti-clockwise. anti-clockwise direction. Okay. So the first diagram. In this first diagram, this is the midgut loop. This midgut loop is straight. There is no rotation. This midgut loop is free of ventral mesogastrium. The ventral mesogastrium is only limited in the foregut, in front of the foregut, but this midgut loop is free of this ventral mesogastrium. There will be only dorsal mesogastrium. Behind the midgut, hindgut, and foregut there will be the dorsal mesogastrium, but this midgut loop will be free from the ventral mesogastrium. Okay. So this second diagram. As per this Langman, this is the second diagram. This is the pre-arterial segment. This is pre-arterial segment, post-arterial segment. Okay. This is the hindgut, dorsal mesogastrium. This is the superior mesenteric artery. So here 90-degree rotation. 90-degree rotation. Okay, of the midgut loop. Okay, this is the second diagram. Now come to this third diagram. This is the third diagram. Now see, in the third diagram, okay. So after 90-degree rotation, outside the umbilical opening, I mean when there is a herniation, physiological hernia of the midgut loop, now see the abdominal cavity will increase. Please focus it. So this abdominal cavity will increase, and abdominal cavity will increase. Then regression due to regression of the mesonephric kidney, then reduce growth of the liver and expansion of the abdominal cavity will retract, or there will be return. Please focus it. So there will be return of this midgut loop within the abdominal cavity. So during return of this abdominal midgut loop within the abdominal cavity, there will be again 180-degree rotation. So this is the third diagram. So in this third diagram, there will be 180-degree rotation. 180-degree rotation of the midgut loop within the abdominal cavity. So this is the superior mesenteric artery. This superior mesenteric artery, this part is called, originally this part is the pre-arterial segment. From this pre-arterial segment, there will be the development of duodenum, jejunum, and ileum. Then this is the post-arterial segment. So from this post-arterial segment, there will be the development of cecum, ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon. Okay. So this is the third diagram. So after this third diagram, this is the final diagram. So this is the final diagram where there will be the zygosis. This is the final diagram. Zygosis means this dorsal mesogastrium. The dorsal mesogastrium, which is attached with the midgut and hindgut, will be absorbed with the posterior abdominal wall. So this is the cecum, ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon, and this is the original pre-arterial segment. So from this pre-arterial segment, there will be the development of this duodenum, jejunum, then this is the ileum. This is ileum, which will enter to this cecum. Okay, so this is the final diagram. So this is the model of this gut system. So this is this blue plug. This blue is the body wall. This blue one is the body wall. So this part is the foregut. From this cranial part of this foregut, there will be the esophagus. This is the diaphragm. Here will be the diaphragm. There will be the diaphragm. Then this part is the stomach. This is the stomach. So in front of the stomach, this is the ventral mesogastrium. This is ventral mesogastrium. So within the ventral mesogastrium, this is the growing liver. This is liver. Then this is the stomach. This is the anterior surface of the stomach. This is the left surface of the stomach, and this is the posterior surface of the stomach, where there will be the attachment of this dorsal mesogastrium, and this is the spleen in the left lip of the dorsal mesogastrium. So now this is the vertical axis. In this vertical axis, the foregut of the stomach will rotate 90 degrees. Now you see there will be a rotation. This is the rotation of the stomach. So first of all, this is the umbilical opening. This is umbilical opening in the anterior side. Umbilical opening, stomach, anterior surface, which is attached with the ventral mesogastrium. Posterior surface of the stomach, which is attached with the dorsal mesogastrium. So here is the dorsal aorta. This is dorsal aorta. Now see, due to the growth of the liver in the right side, this is the left side, and this is the right side. This is the right lobe of the liver in the ventral mesogastrium. Due to this growth of the liver in the ventral mesogastrium and growth of the spleen in the dorsal mesogastrium, so there will be rotation. This is the rotation, 90-degree rotation in a clockwise. This is the clockwise. So now this anterior surface will go towards the right side, and the posterior surface will come towards the left side. This is the original left surface of the stomach will become anterior surface. Okay. So due to this rotation, you see this is the original right surface of the stomach. Due to this 90-degree rotation, so there will be a formation of bursa. This is called omental bursa. This is the omental bursa, or it is the artificial pocket, which is also known as lesser sac. This is the lesser sac, and this is the greater sac. This is the greater sac. This abdominal cavity is the greater sac. So this greater sac will be connected with this lesser sac. So this is the epiploic foramen. Okay, this is epiploic foramen connecting greater sac with the lesser sac. This is the lesser sac. Okay, stop. So already we have discussed the rotation of the foregut. So foregut has rotated 90 degrees. Okay. Now come to this midgut. This is the midgut part. So this is the midgut part, and this is the hindgut, then cloaca. So this midgut is connected posteriorly with the superior mesenteric artery. This is the superior mesenteric artery. This is a branch of this dorsal aorta. Okay. So this midgut is growing in length. It will come through the umbilical opening. It is coming through the umbilical opening. Okay. So when it comes out through this umbilical opening, which is also known as physiological hernia. This is the physiological hernia. This herniation is due to the differential growth of this foregut. Okay, differential growth of this foregut. You see. So this is the superior mesenteric artery. Okay, in the axis of the superior mesenteric artery, this part is called prearterial segment. This part is called prearterial segment, and this part is called postarterial segment. From which there will be the development of the cecum, then ascending colon, transverse colon. Okay, and this is the prearterial segment. The prearterial segment will grow in length, and there will be convolution. Of this prearterial. That's why there will be 90-degree rotation when it comes out through this umbilical opening, that which is also known as physiological hernia. Okay, so this is in the axis of the superior mesenteric artery, there is a 90-degree rotation in the anti-clockwise direction. First of all, it was vertical. Prearterial and postarterial segment was vertical. So when it herniates to the umbilical opening, so there will be 90-degree rotation anti-clockwise in the axis of this superior mesenteric artery. Okay, stop. Okay, so after 90-degree rotation in the herniation, I mean the physiological hernia, now the abdominal cavity will increase due to regression of the mesonephric kidney, then decrease growth of the liver and increase size of the abdominal cavity. So this midgut loop will be taken within the abdominal cavity, which is also known as return, or it is also known as compaction. Okay, now see, this is the supramesenteric artery. This supramesenteric artery, this part is the prearterial segment. This is the prearterial segment. Prearterial segment. So from this prearterial segment, there will be the development of the duodenum, jejunum, then ileum. Then this is the cecum. Here from here, this is the cecum. Then there will be the ascending colon, transverse colon, and descending colon. So this is about the 180 degree rotation anti-clockwise. 180 degree rotation when it is taken back within the abdominal cavity, which is also known as return or compaction. Okay, the region of this compaction is the regions of this compaction is the regression of the mesonephric kidney, then the decreased growth of the liver and increased abdominal cavity. Okay, so this is about the rotation of the stomach 90 degree in the clockwise direction in the vertical axis, then 270 degree rotation of the midgut. First 90 degree when it herniates to the umbilical opening, then second remaining 180 degree when it is taken back within the abdominal cavity. Okay, so this is about the rotation of the gut.